Hello guys, what's up and welcome to a new loot video. This is the final loot video in my mini God Wars boss series, I guess, where we've killed 100 of each of the new God Wars 2 bosses. The final boss was the Zaros boss, which I have found to be probably the most fun and the easiest out of the lot of them, and also you will see at the end on how GP rewarding it is. So I used melee. I haven't tested mage and range, so I'm not really sure how they fare, but with the boss having no weakness, then I would probably assume that they are pretty good as well. But obviously the main combat style you want to use here is melee with the Noxious Scythe because of just how good it is. Now, solo wise, I used a Steel Titan, and I also, rezzed and, it took a shield and rezzed a range hit every now and again, which I'll explain about in a moment. But yeah, you don't really use that much food here, so if you're not feeling too confident, then you can use a pack yak or whatever. But, overall, you could use a Nihil or a Steel Titan, probably a Steel Titan in more sense because it does actually deal some damage, and, if you fill it with scrolls and stuff like that. So the reason I take a shield is because when the boss has, the boss has two forms. The main form is when the boss is just, on the ground and melee hitting you, and the second form is when the boss mounts itself on the dragon. Now the dragon's attacks, it will melee you always the first hit, and then the second hit will be a range attack where you can switch to your shield and you can res it. And after that range attack, it will then end up, dashing off into one of the corners and doing a fire breath attack. Where when it does that, you want to put slaughter on the boss because you will deal triple damage when the boss moves, which drops the boss's health just so quickly. But yeah, you want to use Zerk at around 110k life points and adrenaline pot up before the boss mounts on the dragon at 100k life points, and that is when you want to use your Assault and Hurricane just to drop the boss and get it out of that last phase as quick as possible. But like I said, if you use a shield res on the second hit whilst the boss is in the mounted dragon form, then you will end up resing the range hit, and it varies from around 900 to around 2.5 to 3k life points, which it helps a lot. You can also prayer switch this just to minimise the damage if you don't have res active, or you could even reflect it with the a shield threshold, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I did do around 20 to 25 kills as solo, and I've done that within 1 hour, easily 1 hour, which hasn't been too bad. But the rest of the kills I did do duo. Well, another thing I want to mention is Dreadnips. Dreadnips here help a hell of a lot. They stun the boss just so well, and the boss just stands there and doesn't even attack you for a few seconds, maybe even 10 seconds at a time, because of how OP the Dreadnip is, and that is on a solo. If you have a duo partner with Dreadnips as well, then the boss is just almost permanently stunned. It is absolutely great, and you don't actually eat at all. But yeah, perks as well, I did take obviously Crackling and stuff like that. I have that on my Augmented Torva. Crackling is just so OP as well. You hit 3Ks every now and again with a mage hit with my Crackling, which is perfect. But generally I'm very, very pleased with this boss as well. This is probably the most easiest and even my favourite boss out of the lot of them, just because how fun it is and how easy it is really, and how easy it is to learn. So yeah, like I said, you can use a Steel Titan here. If you don't really want to use a Steel Titan, you can use a pack yak or even a Nihil. But yeah, one last attack that the boss does have is it will, sort of rise its sword up, and when it does that on the first phase or on the first boss form, then it will fire a purple Dragon's Breath cloud across the floor, and to just avoid that, you just walk perpendicular to where the boss is standing, and you will avoid that hit. If you stand in the middle of it, then you will get hit constant mage hits, which obviously that's no good. But yeah, generally very, very pleased with this boss. Easy to do. A duo, it is just, the boss doesn't exist duo. You just drop it so quickly, if you both have scythes anyway at least. But yeah, very, very fun boss. Got the 100 kills within around 2 hours, and you will see how much loot we made in the next clip with the price check. Right then, time for the fourth price check and the final price check on the 100 boss kills on the new God Wars bosses, and we have completed Zaros obviously. So we'll open up the price checker, put everything in there, and it comes to almost 15 mil out of straight up loot. So as you can see, we didn't get any main drops, we didn't get any of the weapons, armor pieces or anything like that, so we got fairly unlucky. But out of the 4 videos I've done, this is the one boss that has become the most profitable just from regular resource drops. As you can see right here, almost 2 mil in rune kite shields, 4.5 million dragon bones. It drops an insane amount of dragon bones, up to 250 per time in some instances. Also rune ore as well, 1.5 mil rune ore, rune bars, just everything here is almost over a mil, apart from, you know, a few items, you know, like the herbs and the sharks and stuff like that. But everything else is pretty much over 1 mil worth in 100 kills, which is absolutely ridiculous. So 15 mil in 100 kills, which is taking us 2 hours to do. I did do a few kills solo and then the majority of it duo, and it did take 2 hours. So generally it is almost 7 mil an hour. It's almost on QBD standard speed, but I'm not really sure if these prices do sell for that. They probably don't. They're probably a little bit lower, so we'll average it off to what, like 12 mil or something. So still 6 mil an hour isn't too bad in a duo, which obviously half that will be 3 mil each per person, which overall isn't actually too bad considering we didn't get any main items, which her main item I think is the lance. That's around 20 to 25 mil right now, so that is pretty insane. So overall 15 mil within 100 boss kills of the Zaros boss, which in my opinion has been the most profitable just from bare resources. And that is the final boss done and out the way on my 100 kill videos on the first or on the 4 new God Wars bosses. I probably might do 1,000 in the future, but that is going to be progressively for sure, and I do want to get the pets unlocked as well. But yeah, that is 100 initial kills of all the bosses done, and yeah, thank you very much for sticking by and watching all these videos, and I shall see you tomorrow with an Runescape episode. So yeah, so take care guys, and I shall speak to you soon. Peace.